Welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. I feature Olympians, CEOs, disruptors, authors, professional athletes, and the best of the best, where they share their stories of resilience with my lens on leadership and culture. Let's get started. Greetings and welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. We're changing it up a little because I always appreciate your feedback, and this is no exception. So in this episode, 3 things you are going to learn. 1, at least 2 game-changing things you can do with AI today that will help your business. Number 2, how AI made my guests cry in a good way. And 3, my guests' favorite tools and why they use them. I am so excited to introduce to you my friends, Lauren and Lauren. We call them the Laurens, Lauren Shaw and Lauren Capwell. Lauren Shaw is a serial entrepreneur and former competitive hula hooper who had an incredible design and sold it for a whopping amount of money. Lauren Capwell is a rocket scientist and has worked for all the space programs you are familiar with. And together they have an AI company. They are coaching businesses and coaches on how to leverage AI and produce insane clarity and results. Ladies, welcome to the show. I am so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. It's great to be here.
So I start my show the same way every time, except for this. This was a little different, but I always ask, will you please share your story? So Lauren Shaw, why don't we start with you and give your background?
Okay, sure. So, well, you already mentioned that I was a competitive hula hooper. My entrepreneurial journey really started when I was a little girl. I've just always had that entrepreneurial spirit, even selling jewelry on the beach as a kid. And I got to a point where I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. It was after college. I was temporarily working in real estate with my family, trying to figure out what I wanted. And I met this woman who introduced me to the world of hula hooping. And the hula hoop became a tool of transformation for my life, believe it or not, out of all the things, right? Yeah, I felt this transformation. It brought me tons of joy. My health improved, my creativity skyrocketed. And I got into it and I started selling hula hoops to adults to use for fitness. And that was the beginning of a hula hoop empire that I actually built. I had this incredible spark of an idea to design a hula hoop with lights that displayed words and images. And yeah, I found an engineer. I tend to partner with engineers. There's a theme here in my life, and who could make it happen. And yeah, I built that business to 7 figures. I had a whole line of high-end circus equipment and was doing international performances. And I did that business for over a decade, but I started to face burnout, and the business really didn't help me design the lifestyle that I ultimately wanted, because I learned as I went along, and I got into the world of online coaching and online business because I really wanted to build a life of freedom. I wanted to help a lot of people. I wanted to have freedom to go wherever I wanted. And yeah, so that's kind of how my whole online business journey started. And I went to work for 2 8-figure business coaches as a sales representative and doing sales calls for them. And I built a beautiful life around that while I got an incredible education. And so I basically got my master's in online business after having thousands of sales conversations with entrepreneurs, learning what worked, what didn't work, what caused a lot of stress, and what also caused a lot of success and freedom. And then Lauren and I met almost 4 years ago now. And I'll let her share a little bit about her journey, and then we can share about kind of what we birthed together.
Yes, I love it. Go for it, Lauren.
I got my degree in mechanical engineering, and from there I went into aerospace. So I was designing, building, and launching rockets for some of the major aerospace companies out there. And I did that for about 11 years, and it was this incredible career. And that's where I was first introduced to AI, data science, machine learning. And I was using these things for my job. But I also knew that the front end of AI, like the person who actually gets to use it more on the creative side, was going to be the person who had a lot more fun. And so I was 11 years into my career, and I was starting to get really burned out and really, really looking for a change. I'd had an entrepreneurial spirit for a very long time. And it was when ChatGPT hit the scene, I just kind of knew this is it. And so that's when Lauren and I partnered up, and we left our jobs, left our homes, and started traveling the world building the business together.
I mean, so this is the part that I love. And I think for any of our listeners, we're all seeking that, opportunity to live the life you design. And you two are doing that in spades. And I love it. So the last time I talked to you, you guys were in Peru, and I understand you're heading to Colombia, but you're always in some place different. And this is totally by design. So talk a little bit about the company you've built, what it's called, and how you work with clients today. And of course, the travel piece, because I know that's a key piece of who you are.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go back a little bit to kind of tell you like the journey about how we got to where we are right now, because it has changed over the last year. So when Lauren and I started traveling back in January of about 2023, is that right, Lauren? Like how long? Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. So about a year and a
Yeah.
half now. So yeah, that's when we both packed up and left our homes and started traveling. And Lauren met me in Bali, and that's when we went deep into doing market research to really understand like what are the struggles and challenges that entrepreneurs are having that we know AI can make a difference for. And so we started our journey by actually offering a coaching program, and we developed AI strategies for all assets of business, the back end, the front end, everything, sales, marketing, emails, you name it. And by, helping a lot of clients in all of these areas, something that we realized was first that we were spreading ourselves too thin. And there were certain parts of it that we were really passionate about, and there were other parts of it that we weren't as passionate about. So over the last 6 months, we have decided to shift out of our coaching program and really, really hone in on more of the like relationship side of business. That's what really fuels us, helping people get really, really clear about their ideal clients and those types of insights, messaging and how they communicate with them, and then also the sales and marketing side of that. So we had this revelation a few months ago that all of these systems and processes that we built could actually now be automated to really speed up the process of how entrepreneurs and business owners can leverage AI. And so, Lauren, do you want to talk a little bit about the tools that we're designing and where we're at with everything now?
Yeah, so the first tool that we've developed, and we're actually currently selling this one, it's called the Client Clarity Playbook. And where this one came from was qualitative market research. AI is incredibly good at doing market research very quickly and very easily. And I think that that's one place that a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck is they either don't do the market research, they don't know how to do the market research, and they don't realize how easy it can be. And so inside of our coaching program, we were teaching our clients how to use AI to rapidly get these deep insights into who your ideal client is, what are their motivations for buying, what makes them say yes, and what are they really looking for in a solution that they'll pay a premium to solve. And so we had this whole prompt sequence that we had developed, and we realized there were so few inputs that the user had to do, and the process was so formulaic that we could put that inside of an automation, and inside of 10 minutes, like have a 30-page market research report done. So that was the tool that we built first. And this one is the Client Clarity Playbook, where it really specifically focuses on everything to do with the ideal client and how they would say things in their own words and in their own language. So you can really see the world through their eyes and understand from their perspective. From there, we actually have one that's going deep into your niche market research. So looking at other offers that are on the market. Then once you have those two pieces, it's offer clarity. So then it's building and packaging your offer and services so that it perfectly aligns with pain points and desired outcomes of your ideal client. Then the next playbook that we're going to build is for leads. So lead generation, so all the different lead strategies, and finally sales. So once you have those leads,
let me stop for just a second, because I want to explain how I met you all. So we met through my coach, Deb Boulanger, and you guys came into one of the sessions, and I think the question was posed of who here has done market research, and I think it was met with crickets. Maybe there was one person that had, like, her job was market research, so she might have done it, but the rest of us were kind of like, oh shoot, we were supposed to do that. And so you think you have this great idea and you're all ready to go to market, and a lot of the times you don't even know if it's a great idea or if it's, repeated 1,000 times. And what you were able to teach us in less than an hour, and you provided us with these prompts. And really, it's all about the prompts. This is what I've learned from you. And those prompts enabled me to condense what would have been probably a month and a half of market research into about an hour and a half. And I had so much clarity and insight into my clients that I ended up validating it with some CEOs, and it was spot on. There was really nothing different than the AI research versus what I got from the CEOs. And I just found that to be so, so valuable. And since then, you've taught me how to create my own GPT. We've got the client Clarity Playbook. I mean, there's just so much value that you guys bring. So I want to talk a little bit about, for the novice AI user and someone who says, I know I need to use it, but I don't know what tools I should be using, or I don't know how. What do you say to them?
I guess my first I would ask them, what is it that you're trying to do? So like, what is the end result? Are you trying to write an email sequence? Are you trying to get website copy? Are you trying to understand your ideal client better? Because when you walk up to AI without any sort of a plan or without any sort of an outcome in mind, then it is very confusing.
Yeah.
But when you come to AI with a specific outcome, I want this email sequence, I want this website copy, I want whatever, it gets a lot easier to understand how to talk to it and how to prompt it. And the first thing I would say is, the more you think of it, just talk to it the way you would talk to a person who doesn't know you, but they're like a semi-expert in everything. Like, what would you need to tell a new hire? So say you just hired a copywriter. What would you need to tell them? You'd need to say, this is my business. This is what I do. This is who I help. This is the email sequence I'm trying to write. Can you give me an outline? Right? So it needs kind of that context.
Yeah.
And so the more you just approach it the way that you would approach a new hire employee who's very good at what they do, but just isn't familiar with your business, and you give them that information, the better output you're going to get. And the more you play around with it, the better you sort of learn it. So
yeah, I love that. I had that experience too, because, when you're first working with it and you give it a little bit of information about you, it starts to learn your voice. And I remember I gave them a speaker bio that I use, and it was finishing everything I wrote with, and I'm a founder and a speaker and a podcast host. And I'm like, oh my God, not every time. This is terrible. And I had to correct it. It was actually pretty funny. But I love that you gave it that kind of guidance, because I learned that from you all.
Yeah, and we actually, I'm not sure if you've run the Clarity Statement tool, but we have a free AI tool that anybody can use. And it's 3 simple inputs about your business, your job title, who your ideal client is, and what your specialty is. And you run that, and in the background, in a couple of minutes, AI actually crafts a really concise statement about you and your business, who you serve, and the results that you help them achieve. And then you can use that statement. It's like a foundational prompt every time you're going to AI in order to generate, right, whether it's strategy or copywriting, ideas, whatever it might be. So that's something we're happy to share with your audience if
why don't you give them the site now, and we'll put it on the bottom of the screen. So what's the site?
Oh, so it's clarityplaybooks.com/clarity-statement.
Okay, so at the top, I said, and you shared this in a post, I think today, or it was an email, that AI made you cry in a good way. So tell that story.
I can take this one, Laura. So, I mean, it's not only been one time that this has happened, but it's been several times. And it's not only us that it's happened to, but actually a lot of the people who get our Client Clarity Playbook. And once you see these insights like on screen in front of you, or if you print out a version of it and you're reading through it, there's something that happens when you receive clarity. It's like this, I'm getting chills right now even talking about it, because that's such a missing piece of why a lot of people struggle in different areas of their business, right? Whether it's marketing or sales or their niche, whatever it might be. And when you have all of this data and information, and it's actually speaking to you in the language of your ideal clients, like from a place of their heart and from a place of their mind, something just clicks. And and this is the experience we've heard from a lot of our clients, is that their confidence level boosts because now they understand how to communicate and speak to their clients so that they align with them. They see gaps that they might have been overlooking for years, even maybe in their business. And so there's just this shift that can happen with the clarity, with the confidence, with that alignment to help them see like where there can be improvement in their business to make the change and, that desire outcome that they want. So when we were creating this in the first time and we started seeing what was happening, and we were running playbooks like over and over for different types of businesses. I ran it for my old business. I ran it for other entrepreneurs that I worked for, just to see their different perspectives. And the precision that it had was just absolutely extraordinary. And that's when, we had one of those cries, because we knew that this tool's a complete game changer. And our vision and our intention for our suite of tools is really that they're the new standard for businesses. There's no reason why every business should not run these tools, because within 10 minutes, they get this insight and this clarity that, they may have been lacking for months or years. So
I love
that's
that
where that came from.
I love that you said that, Lauren. And I think for the people that are intimidated by AI, and know that they should be using it, or they think AI is taking over the world and is going to steal all the jobs, that is not what we're talking about. This is actually really easy to access, easy to understand, very human style of work that I really, really enjoyed, and I still enjoy. And you both have taught me so much, so I know how to leverage it. I know how to leverage my own GPT, and if I think my own GPT isn't getting enough, then I'll go back to the regular Chat GPT. But there's a bunch of tools out there. So can we talk a little bit about the different tools and maybe why we use the ones we use for which? Because I used Claude to do an interview with my ideal client, my fake ideal client, and that was mind-blowing. I had like a real conversation with my fake client, and that is how I validated I was in the right lane. But can you talk a little bit about, everybody's hearing about Gemini and they're hearing about, of course, ChatGPT, but what's the difference between them all, and why should people pay attention to it?
Yeah, so the three chatbots, the best way I can think to explain it is they have different personalities. So if you kind of think of them like people, every person has their own personality, every person has their kind of quirks in the way that they talk, and same thing with the chatbots. So ChatGPT is, I would say, the most academic. It's really good for research, for business strategy. It can also be good for email sequences, but you have to give it a little bit more prompting to get the voice, the brand voice right. But ChatGPT is definitely default personality is the academic. Claude is like ChatGPT's cool friend. So Claude sounds a lot more human, a lot more natural, and tends to have a little bit more empathy in its responses. So more humanness in Claude. And then Gemini is pretty punchy. So if you're looking for really punchy website copy or benefits, bullet points about your product, Gemini tends to do the best. So Gemini is a little bit more concise, a little bit more punchy, but for something that's really emotionally resonant, probably Claude would be the best. So
All right, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add to that, Lauren?
No, she nailed it. And actually,
Right.
Claude just announced an update today or yesterday, and I saw a couple of articles saying that Claude 3.5 Sonnet is now in the lead beyond ChatGPT for some of the outputs. So definitely worthwhile to check them all out and just experiment with them. They all have their free versions, so you can go in and experiment before you might decide to pay for a pro version of one of the apps.
And I would just say for everybody that is dipping their toe in the water here and feeling a little overwhelmed, it's just like the first time you try sushi. If you go with somebody who actually knows what they're doing and you have a proper sushi guide, you have a really enjoyable experience. If you're jumping into this stuff with no guidance, it's going to feel daunting. It's going to feel like there's a lot you don't know. And yeah, there is. But as soon as you're taught, I mean, these guys are absolute pros and such a pleasure. So reach out to them for sure if you want to learn more, but they are masters at what they do and they make it really, really easy. So a little commercial for them. So one of the questions I love to ask is what inspires you? So Lauren Capwell, why don't you go first?
I think it's the combination of technology, which is super cool and fun and exciting, and that leading edge technology of the what's next. It's where I've spent my entire career. And also the creativity. So bringing in the emotions and the human side and the way that AI just so beautifully brings those two things together is really exciting for me.
I love that. And Lauren
Yeah.
Shaw, what
Yeah,
inspires
and
you?
I totally agree with what the other Lauren said, but I also say that seeing the success of entrepreneurs is something that fuels me, helping them overcome challenges. And also, we all have our own version of what success is. But for a lot of the clients that we work with, there are different types of freedoms that they want to create for themselves, whether it's freedom of time or freedom of money or freedom of location. And I believe so deeply that leveraging these tools and getting the clarity through, aligning your offer with the lifestyle you want to create and all of those things is like this is the ultimate tool that we can use to create more freedom in our lives. And so actually witnessing that happen for people that we're working with is just, it's the best.
Awesome.
Inspires me so much to keep going.
That's great. So Lauren Shaw, sticking with you for a second, what would you like your legacy to be?
I want to change the world. And I fully believe that with my hula hoops, like that was my vision when I started my hula hoop career, that I wanted to change the world through hula hoops. And I believe that I did. And now with what Lauren and I are building, I fully believe, like in my heart and soul, that these tools have the potential to transform over 1 billion lives on this planet. And we're working to make that happen. We're connecting with people to help support us in making that happen through collaborations and partnerships and licensing and some other really cool things. And so that to me would be the ultimate legacy, to touch so many lives in that way.
How about you, Lauren? What would you like your legacy to be?
Well, that's hard to top. But for me, I feel like empowering women in technology. So I know what it's like to be a woman in a very male dominated space. And I feel like AI is one of the most feminine technologies that we've been given because of the space for creativity that it really offers, and to help women to use these tools to take back their time and reclaim that. Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
would be
love
beautiful.
that you said that. And being a woman growing up in sales, I was always one of the only women on the team for many, many years. So I totally relate to that. But I love that we're putting a feminine slant on this technology. I really feel that it is as well. And we need more of that. So brilliant. What's next for you guys?
I'll take this one. So with our playbooks, there's the potential to help a lot of people like we've been talking about. And our business model around this, we have the playbooks available for individual use. So any business owner or agency owner can, run the playbooks for their own business or to use with their clients. But we're also licensing these tools. And so, in simple words, what that means is, businesses or organizations can basically rent these tools from us to use it as a part of their services or offerings, whether it's internally for the work that they're doing, like a marketing agency, for example, and they need to get to know their clients very deeply, very fast and produce really great results. Or whether it's someone like an online business coach, right, who is already teaching their clients how to niche down or work on messaging or get client clarity or anything like that. So they can actually integrate these tools into their offerings super fast and easy. Everything is automated. And so that's what we're really excited about, because with that model, we know that we can help more people faster. So that's what's on the horizon for us. We're really excited just meeting other entrepreneurs who are excited about using AI and discussing ways that we can collaborate, partner. We're open to ideas. And so, yeah, we just love hopping on calls with other entrepreneurs to see, what we can create together.
I love how you're thinking about this. I love the way your minds work, and I love the way you connect with people. So that is absolutely why I wanted you on the show. I wanted people to have a different view of AI. We talked about AI with a lot of my guests, but a little differently with you guys in a way that I'm sure my audience is really going to appreciate. So how do people find you?
Awesome. Well, you can find us at clarityplaybooks.com. And we'll have some links there to our different social channels as well. But yeah, I'm on LinkedIn all the time. We also have a Facebook group, and hopefully soon a YouTube channel, but we're not quite there yet.
All right.
But yeah,
well,
they could.
when you get there, let's chat, because this needs to be on your YouTube channel, because this is a really great story about you both. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing all of your words of wisdom. Any parting comments, parting words, advice you'd like to leave with the audience?
I would say, we actually had a post about this the other day, but the best way to start learning is just to start doing it. So give it a try. Reach out to us if you have any questions. We love supporting people around leveraging AI. We're at hi@clarityplaybooks.com, and we'd love to hear from you.
Amazing. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to the YouTube channel or leave a 5-star review at Apple or Spotify. And if you are looking for some leadership help, this is your girl. I know how to help you. I connect you with people like this. So thanks for listening. Have a great day and take care of yourselves. Lead with heart. Are you ready to elevate your leadership style and create an exceptional workplace that stands out from the crowd? I'm here to introduce you to a game-changing resource that will transform the way you lead and shape your company culture. It's time to embrace the power of top-down culture. This practical guide empowers your leadership for lasting success, helping you create a workplace where everyone thrives. Get top-down culture today, and let's reshape the future of leadership together. Thanks for listening to this episode of Heartbeat for Hire. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or consider leaving a 5-star review and a great rating at Spotify or Apple. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.